Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is the Nikon D3200 preview video. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run down the specs of this newly announced camera, and then I'm going to give you some thoughts about it. I don't even know if I'll get through the rundown before I give you my thoughts, but I'm holding a D3000, now we're a couple years ago, just for basically form factor, because it's probably pretty much the same thing. So let's go down the list. Nikon D3200, new name, we know that. 24.2 megapixel CMOS sensor. 24.2. Yeah, right. The very first digital SLR that I owned was a 4 megapixel camera, 4.1 megapixels in a D2H. Now we're hitting 24.2 megapixels in a camera that is $699. More on that in a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. 4 frames a second, 3-inch screen. It's a very good screen, 4 frames a second, that's fine. Does 1080p full HD, 24 frames a second, 30 frames a second. We have a correction. It does 60 frames a second at 720. It does the full-time autofocus with video. They keep progressing. It's probably about the 3rd or 4th camera now that does this. It works. Is it the best? Probably not yet, but it will get there one day. Something else they added now is the use of a WU-1A wireless mobile adapter. Basically, you will plug in a wireless adapter on the side. It's only $59.95, which isn't bad. And then you'll be able to use your iPhone, your iOS device, some Android devices to basically preview your camera before you take the picture. It's kind of similar to what we do in the D4, but you're not spending $900 for this unit. You're only spending $59.95, which isn't bad at all for that. Is it worth it? I think it's more of a gimmick. We'll get to that in a minute too. Let's see. 100 ISO to 6400 ISO is insane, with a boost up to 12,800. I will be very interested to see what this looks like. Do I think 6400 will look good? Probably not. But I'm interested to see it. Did that. Now back to the 24.2 megapixels. That's insane. Is that good? I don't think so. I'm just going to say that. That's too many megapixels. That means when we tell people, hey, go shoot RAW, by the way, you can get your Nikon Gold I Shoot RAW shirts in the Fro store. We tell people to shoot RAW. Now they're going to be shooting a 50 megabyte file, if not more, but it's 12-bit, so maybe it's a little less, but still it's going to be a 40-ish to 50-ish megabyte RAW file. People don't know what to do with them already when they're beginners. So now they're gonna see all these people saying, hey, you should shoot RAW. And then they're gonna be like, where do I store all this stuff? It's too much. 24 megapixels is too many megapixels. What's wrong with 12? I didn't have a problem with 12. I barely had a problem with 4. And now we have 16 in the D4 and 24.2 in this D3200. That means D5200, D7100, maybe even a D400 is going to incorporate a sensor similar to this. Now we're going to wait till we get an actual unit to play with to determine whether or not that this is, well, just to test it out, just to see what the pictures look like. I'm interested to see that. Now, at $699, it's a no harm, no foul purchase. If you already own a D3100, you don't buy this. Sorry, this is a D3000, you definitely don't buy that. But if you have a 3100, remember what I say, you always want to take vertical steps up. If you're new to the game and you're looking for information to buy a Nikon or to buy Canon will introduce their new cameras when they do it. But if you're in the market for it, a 3200 is a very good starting point. It's a great place to start, especially for $699. It's the same price as the D3100 is currently. Actually, it's not the same price. It sells rebated for like $549, which isn't bad at all. I just wish they didn't sell the kit lens and that they packaged it with a 35-1.8. Again, that's my recommendation, 35-1.8. What else do I have to say about it? 4 frames a second, no big deal. 3-inch screen, no big deal. The D3200 does have an input for a microphone, which is a great addition over the D3100 and puts it in line with the D5100 and 7000 with that mic
This
input.
is a beginner camera. This is the starter camera for most people. They're going to get into the game with a kit lens and a D3200. Yeah, 3200, have to get used to saying that. And that's where they're going to start. So it's not a bad place to start. Just remember, if you're starting, remember good glass is what's going to help you get gooder. I almost said gooder. It's going to almost help you. It's going to help you get better pictures. Remember that. Good glass equals better pictures. So D3200, you've heard the specs. Will I pick one up? It could be a toss away, or it could be a third angle or a fourth angle for video, because I have a D4, I have a D7000, I may end up with a D800. I don't know. I haven't purchased one of those yet. But maybe for an extra angle, if it does good quality video, it does 1080 at 24, so it matches my D4 and it matches my D7000, that could be a good little camera to put up in the ceiling, put up in the rafters, to put wide angle somewhere else. So for me, maybe that's an option. I don't know if it is, but for $699, it could be an inexpensive option for another angle, for a C camera angle that may get me some interesting footage. I don't have to worry about the audio because I'm going to sync it up with my other camera's audio. So there you have that. That's the intro of the Nikon D3100, Nikon D3200 preview. When the camera comes out, I will have a full guide. I am going to make a full guide on how to use the Nikon D3200, so you can see that video as soon as that's up when that time comes. If you are interested in picking one of these up, you can always check out allenscamera.com. They will help you out. So that's it. That's the preview of the Nikon D3200. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.
If you would like a free guide to capturing motion in low light situations, please click here in the box, put your name, email address, hit send it, and we will send you a free ebook right to your email.